My name is Diane Swanger, and this is my energy project for Education Technology 630, Computer Energy, Waste Not, Want Not. My questions for this project were: how much energy does my fiance's computers use? How much energy per month does it cost our landlords? And can we limit our consumption? My methodology for this project was to figure out first what computers and monitors my fiance and I actually own. It turns out that he owns 3 monitors and 2 computers. I myself own 2 computers as well. My other questions that I wanted to ask were: how many hours per week do they run? How many watts per hour do they use? And then I had to figure out the cost per kilowatt hour and the formula for that. The data approximately took 8 days. The watt usage was taken from Apple and Dell websites, and it was an estimate based on their computer specs. The computers, I wanted to figure out how many hours they were actually used versus when they were hibernating and when they were sleeping. To collect data is to err. I found that there was no definitive way of measuring the watts for the 3 monitors, 2 laptops, a desktop, or a Mac quad-core, unless I had a specific device used for that. I, however, could not find the device that I had to use to measure that, and so I had to modify my findings by simply checking Apple and Dell's websites for the wattage that they approximately said that the computers would use. I did not account for the hibernation or sleep because I still needed the device that I needed to find the measuring watts. If I had had the watt tracking device, then I would have been able to log the wattage when the computers were booting up, booting down, hibernating, asleep, and simply not on. Because even when computers and electronics are not on, they are continuing to use kilowatts. Landlords pay the utilities, and so I called their electric company to get the average price. Collecting my data was intriguing. Overall, it's not too bad, however, we could be doing better. What it means to me: my average electric bill monthly is $93.20. My average electric bill yearly is $1,118.42. 43 cents. My average electric bill in 20 years, over the course of that 20 years, will be $22,368.61. Collecting Bartlett's data was more difficult than I had anticipated. I had to find our technology guru to figure out how many computers we actually had. He did not have the data on hand, so he gave me an estimate. We have approximately 275 eMacs, 200 Dell computers, 75 iMacs, and 100 MacBooks. What it means to Bartlett and to me: the average electric bill monthly for Bartlett is $1,600. I don't believe that's true. Bartlett's average electric bill yearly for computers is $9,600, and Bartlett's average electric bill in 20 years will be $192,024 in the course of 20 years. What does it mean overall? Well, to be short, my fiance's computers use more energy than he and I anticipated. We are pretty lucky that our rent has not increased. If we weren't using such high-end computer technology for his business and for my homework, the energy use would be significantly lower, and essentially Bartlett uses what I anticipated. Yet, there are areas that need adjusting. More accurate recording would be needed for kilowatt hours to be represented properly, i.e., the device that I was speaking of. If I could find it, I would more than happily do this project again, just to figure out exactly how many kilowatt hours we are using. More accurate data would be needed from the Bartlett staff as to how many computers really are on all the time in the building with the students, how many computers are used daily, weekly, monthly. More extensive knowledge required to properly present the findings and interpret them, obviously. Thus, we can save energy by completely turning off our computers more often, not having so many unnecessary computers running at one time, definitely limiting the number of computers to a household, and rediscovering what a library is. Google is not your savior.